Hi, this is Zach here with the weekend edition of the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe, brought to you in association with a new FN.com. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which had a rather disappointing end of the week. Not surprising, though, I suppose, given the way that we just backed off from 8,400 for the umpteenth time since basically the beginning of the summer. Got support probably coming in at the 50-day line there around 82.25 currently. That's rising, as is the 200-day moving average, so we're still feeling overall relatively chirpy on the upside, but obviously not a great end to the week, and you wouldn't also expect the main resistance there for the last 4 or 5 months to break in one go or break easily. We do break through 8,400, looking for 8,600 at the top of that rising trend channel from this time last year by the end of this month, although we are running out of time after Friday's performance. Moving on to the DAX, and here it was a decent end to the week after a very good week anyway. Proper breakout there through the 19,700 area above that. We've been looking for 20,800 by the end of this month, and hopefully there's enough time for us to get that while we're above the floor of the latest gap there, just above 20,000. Moving along to the Dow, and here you can see that bit of a top there at around 45,000, that old August resistance line, and maybe the way things are looking now will take a little bit of effort to get through that. We already had bearish divergence of the higher highs for the end of November, beginning of December, but lower RSI trace through 45,100, and we're looking at potentially up to 47,000 by the end of this month or going into January. Otherwise, it looks as though we're going to have to test 44,000. The top of the old rising trend channel from this time last year. Worst case is that we've got to test the 50-day line once again. That's currently at 43,100. Market at the moment is, of course, Bitcoin, and here just trading either side of the 100,000 level. The target previously are up to 102,000, which was that April resistance line projection, and after that looking for up to 121,000 as those resistance line projections rise. Ideally, after the cork in water rebound that we had and the bear trap down towards the 91,000 area, we should stay on the right side of 98,000, which was the resistance after the initial push through 100,000, and above 98,000 looking for a push, another leg to the upside. And assuming that the consolidation that we've had over the last couple of weeks is actually a mid-move consolidation ahead of a move to the upside. Worst case scenario at the moment is we've got to test either the old target there towards 89,000 or the 50-day line, which would be a real nightmare at 84,000. But it looks as though we'll hopefully stay in the upper 90,000s over the near term. Moving on to gold, and here not quite so exciting. We've just been dead in a range between around 26.40 and the 50-day moving average at 26.80, waiting for an end-of-day close outside those parameters. The initial resistance towards 27.50, initial support 2600 at the floor of that rising trend channel from September. Moving on to the stocks, and starting off with the Aquis market, and a little bit of a nudge higher for the Ananda chart. Well, at least the Ananda share price. We've got the 50 and 200-day lines both rising now. Rising trend channel there from basically this time last year. The floor of the channel there at 0.32, and looking for the top of the channel now, and basically 2024 resistance 0.55, perhaps as soon as the end of next month, given that we are going into a golden cross, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks. Moving on to Asiamet, which has been delivering a rather better look over the last few days than it, well, basically since the start of the month. Bounced off that support line there from June, around 0.55. Initial target here up to 0.7, above that. Then looking for up to 0.82, maybe as soon as the end of this month. On to Boku, and not the kind of stock we normally look at, but we've just got an imminent golden cross here, and looking for progress within that rising trend channel from this time last year. Top of the channel there up to £2.22, and we're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above the channel floor at £1.75. On to a stock which It's been rather esoteric and quirky over the recent past. We've got Sell AI, and here a broadening triangle base potentially a broadening triangle base in progress here. Top of the broadening triangle there at 0.21. We're looking for that by the end of January, while we remain above the 50-day line 0.06. Quite optimistic there, but a good start in terms of the bear trap rebound that we've had from below November support. On to EnergyPathways, where the market seems to be quite strongly divided between the bull and the bear argument. Interesting here that we had the gap down on Wednesday and actually managed to close above that gap, or close that gap on Friday. So that does suggest that the negative there has been soaked up, the selling pressure soaked up. That also implies then that while we're above the 8 pence area, we're looking for the shares still to get up to 15 or 16 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of next month, obviously placings, etc. permitting. Worst case at the moment is we've got to test that 50-day line, currently at 6.83 pence, but hopefully the near-term low there, just below 8 pence, has already been put in. Moving along to Ferrexpo, where it's been a big victory for the Trump traders. I suppose it's be interesting to know whether, if it weren't for Trump, where the shares would be now, or if Trump hadn't won. The current situation, though, is above 102 pence. We're looking for 140 pence, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. That gives the shares plenty of time to head higher. Interestingly here, the rally sort of kick-started, at least in the middle there, with that unfilled gap to the upside. The initial trigger, I suppose, was the way that we was back when the shares were around 40 to 50p or 45 to 50p, with a break above a rising 50-day moving average. Moving along to NEO, and here shares up well on Friday, but no news, which is even more intriguing. But we broke the resistance line there, and from August down the 50-day line at 1.06, and above that looking for a minimum of 1.33, the old November resistance. Best case is we head up to 1.8 pence plus at the top of the rising trend channel from this time last year, and do that by the end of next month. But the key here, staying above 106. On to Orcadian, which had reasonable news recently, but what's interesting here is that we're rising and breaking the 200-day line there at 8.67 pence. Above that, looking for 13 pence by the end of next month at the top of that broadening triangle, and ideally we stay above the low 7p area. On to Petro, where I think all the people would have been flushed out, most people would have been flushed out on the break of the low end of the range there at 2 pence, and maybe that is allowing the shares to rise. We've got bullish divergence coming in there as well, so lower lows for December, but higher RSI trace. Looking for the shares to at least head to the top of that falling trend channel from June at 2.5 pence by the end of next month, while we remain above late November resistance at 1.6 pence. Realm Resources is next, and as suspected, the shares have bounced to the floor of the rising trend channel. We've got imminent drill news, I suppose, which could be the catalyst for a new leg to the upside. Rising trend channel there, heading for as high as 0.53, and the end-of-week signal with an end-of-day close, or end-of-week close, above a sharply rising 50-day line at 0.35. Just what the doctor ordered. The only thing missing now is to get the RSI back above neutral 50, which hopefully we'll do if we break back above 0.37 pence. Moving on to a stock which I don't think I've ever looked at before on the Bulletin Board Heroes, which is RM PLC, and here a nice breakout through all the recent resistance around 84 pence, looking for up to 103, which would be retesting May resistance after the break of the logjam and the bounce off RSI 50. So ideally we stay above that 50-day line at 79 pence ahead of a move to 100 pence plus. On to Sealand, which has probably delivered a first in the sense that it's blown out all the targets that were chosen. It was very ambitious to go through to retest 0.5, even more ambitious to retest the 1.1 pence area, and 1.8 pence seemed a ridiculous target, the upper parallel of that rising trend channel from September. The current situation is that we've retreated from an August resistance line projection up to 2.75 pence, but at least while we're above 1.8 pence, we could see a retest of the 2.8 pence or 2.7 pence area over the next couple of weeks. Moving along to Somero, where there's been stake building, and it seems to have done the share some good. Higher low, therefore, November, December versus October. Initial target here up to the 200-day moving average at £3.15, and that would also close the gap that we had down in August. Upside value while we hold above the 50-day line there at £2.76. On to the last two. The first one is StreaksAI, and here nice rebound above the 200-day line there at 0.4 pence. Above that, looking for a minimum 0.68 pence, and this looks like a mid-move consolidation breakout there for StreaksAI. The 200-day line, good support in that situation. Finishing off with Zanaga, where we're hoping that maybe some of the magic at Ferrexpo will rub off here. Here we've broken out of that falling wedge over the last week or so, really, at 4.2 pence. Above that, looking for the shares to hit 6.75 pence, hopefully by the end of next month or even sooner. RSI rebound above neutral 50 as well. That's it for me today. More updates during the week.